Nikke Goddess of Victory is a new gacha game that just released 3 days ago. It has been touted as a thick waifu collector where you can watch titties and asses jiggle for days during combat, and quickly skyrocketed to become the #1 most popular gacha game. So naturally, I downloaded it like the filthy degenerate I am. But I've come to wonder, if you peel off the clothes of the fan service, is the naked body that lies under it a well-endowed game with depth to invest your time into and explore? Alright, so I was about to start the video and I just got this flash sale that popped up on the screen. 1 hour 59 minutes left. Only 99 cents USD for 7 times efficiency package. Guys, do not fall for these. What's up everyone, my name is BoostStreams and welcome to a Nikke First Impressions video. Today I'll be taking you through a brief tour of the game showcasing the characters, combat, gacha, and more. Then I'll give you all my grievances with the game and render a final verdict. Should you play it too? If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. Alright, on with the video. Alright, first off let's take a look at the lobby. So what you see right now is the lobby when you open the game. This character right here is Milk, who's actually my favorite character in the game, and you can see all of the different options for things that you're able to do here. So you can check your profile, you can check this is the login event, you can message with your Nikke actually, and then also you have access to the event tab here. There isn't an event going on right now though. And then you have your missions, you have daily, weekly, main, and challenge missions, and the rewards are okay for those. Obviously you have your settings, you have your mailbox, friends list, and then union, which is kind of like a guild or a crew or something like that. I haven't joined one yet, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. But yeah, that's pretty much the lobby. And as you can see just from looking at the lobby, the graphics in this game are amazing. I would like to point out, however, that the game only comes in vertical mode. However, you can make it landscape like I have here by using a setting on LDPlayer, Force Landscape. First, let's talk a little bit about the story. The tutorial when you log into the game is concise and it's nicely executed. The story dialogue is all voiced and the voice acting is great. All characters are animated with L2D, as you can see here, as well as in the story, and they have mouth movements in the story. The soundtrack is amazing, and you'll hear it throughout the video in various parts. It also has the highest quality localization I've seen in any gacha game, with no translation issues that I found so far, and very natural sounding English. Let's go ahead and look at the characters. So these are the characters I own. And if you can't tell just from looking at these, the thickness is off the charts. Also, the L2D's animation is professional and natural, and it has very accurate physics. So for example, if we tap Maiden here, she actually has a really cool animation where she takes off her mask and just kind of moves around, and it's very nice. We can look at Julia here. She actually plays the violin or whatever instrument that is. And then we also have Milk, puts her hand up, signals, you know, hey, come at me. And then finally we have Diesel, who's the other SSR I have. She moves a little bit. You can see her panties briefly, but let's ignore that for now. And then yeah, we have some others. These are the SR units. They all have nice L2Ds as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Nikkepedia, which contains all of the characters. So we're just going to quickly go through all of these characters, and you can see that these characters come in all shapes and sizes, which means that this game has characters that are suited to any audience. Whether you're a degenerate who likes his girls thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, or you just enjoy looking at cute girls while you play, or you really enjoy cool girls or gyarus or what have you. This game has it all. Okay, this one's a little interesting. Next up with characters is the advising system. So if we go here to advisee, essentially these are all story quests that you can do. So let's click on Milks, for example, who, like I said earlier, is my favorite character. And let's go ahead and go to advise. So this is going to take us into a quick story quest, and you can see how we have the L2D and the mouth movements here. And yeah, essentially we're going to skip this for now just for the sake of brevity of the video. But then you increase your rank and then you get additional stats, which is kind of like a trust bonus if you come from Arknights. And yeah, that's all pretty cool. So all in all, the characters in this game are very, very solid. They have some really great, unique designs, amazing art, some of the best L2Ds I've seen from any game. And yeah, so that's one aspect of this game that is truly amazing. Next is the squad tab. Pretty self-explanatory. You can form your squads. Your power here tells you how good your characters are. And then in the lobby, you can see that there's this outpost. The outpost is basically the same as the dorm in Arknights or similar places where you live with your Nikke or your operators or whatever you want to call them. But this is unique because it has this really cool 3D world that you can kind of scroll around and look around and you see all the chibi characters walking around. So that's a very unique feature, but other than that, it's not super unique. Next up is Arc. So Arc has various combat levels. So it has Tribe Tower, Interception, and Simulation Room, and Lost Sector, which I haven't yet unlocked. And it also has a ranking system where it ranks you against other players. Keep in mind I haven't played all of these, so I'm not sure about exactly what they do. However, I do know that in the Tribe Tower, you get ranked out of how many levels you can complete of the tower, and they're all combat stages. Speaking of combat stages, let's go ahead and get right into the combat. If you've seen any advertisements or just clips or anything from this game online, the most notable combat is, of course, the jiggling booties. Is that representative of the game's combat as a whole? Yes, it is. They're everywhere. But once you look actually a little bit above those and at what the actual field has out on it, the combat is very one-dimensional and lackluster. You're just shooting enemies, and they're different enemies every map. This game is essentially an auto-battler, where you just sit behind blockades and you watch your characters shoot enemies. While the characters have very detailed and great animations, if you're looking for a game with super interesting and strategical gameplay, this is probably not that. Let's talk about the ultimate animations though. The ultimate animations are insane. Like, these are the best animations I've seen in any game. Let's take a look at Milk's animation. So when I see this, I just want to lick the sweat off of her. When I see this, I think this is such a beautiful, clean, crisp, detailed animation. You have the same thing for every other character. However, the one caveat of these animations is that they do interrupt the flow of combat. You can turn them off in the settings, but I really do like watching them because I think they're honestly amazing. Let's go ahead and do a sample recruitment and just take a look at the animation and how everything looks, because it actually does look very nice. So we got a blue, which means that this is an R, and the door kind of opens up. The door opens up, it's the Arc Express. You know, we see the L2D of the character, and yeah, that's about it. Then we can recruit again or confirm. We're gonna confirm. Next up is the Gems banner. So this banner, you have to have money to pull on it. And it is pay to win in the sense that you're guaranteed 1 SSR Nikke for 10 consecutive recruits, which means that if you want to be guaranteed an SSR like this, you have to pay money to be able to pull on this banner. Let's go ahead and go into the shop and talk about the monetization, because of course this will lead you right to the shop. So take a look at these prices. Normally in gacha games, the lowest package of gems or whatever you want to call it is 99 cents. But in this case, it's actually $4.99. Is that good or bad? I don't exactly know. However, I do know that the highest one being $79.99 instead of $99.99 can probably give players the feeling that they're spending less than they actually are, so they'll end up buying more of those packs than they would of an actual $100 pack. So while we're here, let's go ahead and look at the cash shop. We have our standard 30-day supply. We have some bonus rewards. This is the same thing that Tower of Fantasy does. And then normal packs. And then some new server packs, first purchase packs, a lot of these stuff. Essentially, my advice for you is don't buy anything. Please don't spend any money on this game. It's really not worth it. It's a gacha game. It's predatory. It's designed to take all your money. Once you start, it's a slippery slope, man. So please don't do it. So since we were just on gacha, how's the free shop? The free shop is pretty bad. I'm gonna be completely honest. The most important thing that you can get out of a free shop is pulls, and you can't get those anywhere in this shop. If you look at the tickets that you get, these are the silver mileage tickets that you get. You get one for every pull that you do, and it requires 200 of them to buy one part that you can use to limit break a Nikke. However, 200 is a lot. This is a really steep price, and it just honestly really sucks compared to a lot of other games. So that's the tour through the game. Now I'm going to talk about all of my grievances with the game, since I've already given it all of my praise. Here's the brutally honest truth of the game. The first thing that I really hated was that I wasn't able to change the graphics settings until I finished the tutorial, so I actually couldn't access the settings. When you play it on an emulator, it automatically starts on the lowest settings, and the graphics look really bad on low. They look amazing on high, like I said earlier, but on low, the game just looks like a joke. The next is the bugs in the game. While it's not the most buggy gacha game that I've ever played on launch, looking at you counterside, there are still bugs that are present. Myself, I've experienced a bug where I wasn't able to exit out of the mailbox, so I had to restart the entire game. I also, and many other people, experience occasional frame drops. The game has some pretty suboptimal optimization, so it will burn up in your hand if you're playing it on high settings. One thing I've heard from one of my community members is that the progress for them resets to 0 on every Nikke's story mode when they restart the game, so that's a pretty annoying glitch as well. The next thing that I've already kind of touched on is the predatory monetization model. While it's probably not the worst, you saw that pop-up that happened at the beginning of the video, which is something I actually haven't seen in other games, which is actually like pretty terrible. But if you just don't spend money on the game, you don't succumb to the power of the booty, then you're gonna be fine. Another grievance is that while the game has no sanity or stamina system, you definitely do pay a price for this. So the first one is that your characters don't get any experience during the battles, so you can't level them up through combat, so you can only level them up through currency. However, there is quite a scarcity of this currency that I've already run into after only playing for a few hours. In addition, let's talk about the power level. So I'm assuming the power level represents how leveled up your Nikkes are. The issue with this, however, is that when your power is lower than the power suggested for a level, you actually do 75% of the damage that you would normally do. Yeah, 75%. So unless you upgrade your characters to the power level that the game suggests, you lose 25% of your damage. That's ridiculous. That's a terrible system, guys. Terrible. I don't know who the hell thought of that. Like, actually. And then the last thing is that this is really a mobile game. And the fact that the graphics are only vertical by default really drives that point home. Because other popular gacha games like Genshin Impact and Tower of Fantasy, for example, have their own PC clients and are specifically designed to be able to be played on PC. However, this game is strictly mobile. There was no thought about PC in development. So if you're looking for a PC game and not just another mobile gacha game, this ain't it, chief. So is Nikke an actual good game, or is it just a cheek-clapping carnival? Looking past the beautiful graphics and hot waifus, it's truly an average game. There isn't anything unique to the core game design from any other gacha game, and in fact the combat is more one-dimensional and redundant than most. It's a waifu collector auto battler with amazing looks but little substance. Will I keep playing it? Yes. I'll be playing it with one hand on the toilet. Whether I'm actually using the toilet or doing something else there, it is the game to play during that time. Should you play it? If you're looking for a game that ticks the boxes I've mentioned, then go ahead. It won't be a waste of your time. But if you're looking for a main game or a game with difficult content that requires skill and strategy, you've come to the wrong place.